And welcome to another episode of Meet the Polymaker. I'm your host, Nighcore. And bear with me just a moment because of technical difficulties on audio. I had echoing. But I am your host, Nighcore. Behind the curtain is our producer, Dstrbdmedic. Today, we're going to talk a few things. We're going to share a community project that's going on for Easter up until the end of the month. We are also going to talk about a new printer that's it's starting to hit the scenes. You guys have probably seen it on a few different feeds. Some influencers, they've got their hands on them. We're also going to give info on one of the largest 3D printing events of the year. So that's going to be something coming up very soon. So if you haven't got your tickets, we'll talk about how to do that here soon. We're also going to look into a recent breakthrough in the medical field with 3D printing involved. So of course, 3D printing isn't just with our plastics that we're used to. It's with everything as far as human tissue or brain tissue. So we'll talk again a little bit more about that. We'll also be sharing a couple different prints today. If nobody realized, it is Pi Day. So there's of course going to be a Pi Day print. You can't do the show on that day without it. We're going to do there's an Easter egg themed egg that I'm actually very interested in talking about. It looks great. A throwback to an old Disney movie. Some of you will recognize as soon as you see the picture. Also, another community member has her own Twitch show. No names mentioned. You'll get an idea who that is once we share that project. So without ado, let's get right into the news. So today's first topic here, we're going to talk about the Easter Bilby project. This is created by Creatrix Brit, as some of you may know through Twitch, through Discord. Awesome community member. Super nice, super helpful. She's been to a lot of the events. If you've been there, you've probably met her. But this project is something she started, I believe last year. Now what it is, that the Easter Bilby is a marsupial from Australia. It's an endangered species. So what this project's doing is bringing awareness to that, to help bring awareness to the foundation that's, saving the money, trying to save that marsupial or that animal. And it's actually a replacement or an alternative, not a replacement, an alternative for the Easter Bunny in Australia. So it's the Easter Bilby project. This project is, like I said, created by Creatrix Brit. It's to share, whether you're a modeler, a printer, anything, is to share either prints of the Bilby or models of the Bilby, sharing with the community, doing those prints, sharing them through socials, just to, again, bring awareness to this foundation, which is Save the Bilby Fund. It is out of Charlesville, Australia. And there's going to be links that we're actually going to put in chat for that. So you guys can see that there. See some models for the Bilby that have been shared for free. Print them however you wish, however big you wish, whatever color you want to do it in. With that, it's just ask if you share them on social. There's a couple different hashtags. Again, you should see that in the links that are going to be posted in chat. It's going to be hashtag Bilby, Easter Bilby, Save the Bilby, Chocolate Bilby, 3DP Easter Bilby Project. So a lot of Bilbies there, and I didn't mess up any of them. So I'm rather impressed. So again, there's going to be some link trees in the chat to link you to information about that and Create Sprit's other projects. So definitely go check those out. Follow. That is again only till March 31st. So if you're wanting to just have something fun to print and help something in the meantime, it's a lot of fun, and you're helping an endangered species. So definitely worth a shot. So on to the next one is the hardware, or sorry, yeah, let's flip it here. Is something you guys have probably all seen. It's the Elegoo Orange Storm Giga. Crazy name for a crazy printer. This printer is an 800 by 800 by 1000 millimeter printer. It is large. Like I hinted earlier, is there's a couple influencers that do have their hands on this. You got Joel Telling, you got It's Boy in Space. I believe Uncle Jesse just received his. I didn't catch a stream if he did it today, but a few of them have gotten them set up. Joel had a little technical difficulties, I think, with some leveling on his that gouged the bed. But either way, it is an impressive printer. It's huge. Some may think, why do you need something that big? Why do we print half the things we print? Because we can. So it's definitely, whether it be furniture or just a really large octopus fidget cube. It's, of course, it's endless. It does do a 300 millimeter second speed. Recommended is 150. Obviously, with it being a larger scale printer, you got a lot of movement there, and it seems pretty sturdy from what we've seen in the videos. Time will tell what it's capable of. It does run off a clipper. It's got a 7-inch originally tab. I think the Kickstarter might have upped that to a 10-inch tablet. But anybody that's got a Neptune Max 4, it is that same bed times 4. It uses 4 of those build sheets to create its one bed. It's up to 90 degrees Celsius on the bed. So of course it's not enclosed. You're going to be limited on the material types you can print unless you build a heck of an enclosure, because again, that's that 800 by 800 by 100. So definitely check into those. The picture we got is technology.com. You go follow Joel Telling, the 3D printing nerd, It's Boy in Space on TikTok, or Uncle Jesse on YouTube. I think they are all kind of on all the socials. They've got unboxings, and they're going to be sharing prints and everything from it. I know It's Boy in Space has done a couple already. Did a really huge vase that ended up getting some issues up top, solely because it was a hot day out. He had his patio door open. That slight breeze, once it's taller, I think he was probably 600 millimeters to 800 millimeters tall on the print so far, and it just caused a little bit of imperfections, but it'll be interesting to see. Now this printer is no longer on Kickstarter. It is going to be shipping to Kickstarter backers, I think, in the next few months. Its original price on Kickstarter was $12.50 for early bird, $1,500 for other backers, but that retail price is going to shoot up to $24.99. That is not $24.99. That is $2,500 US dollars. So not a cheap printer, but again, it's a huge printer. So, if you got a use for it, you got some crazy ideas. There's a lot of cool things. We've seen some big ones at the different rep festivals. So it's impressive to see what they're capable of. So just keep tuned in for that, and we'll see where it goes. On to the next, we got of course, the big event. We got rep festivals. A lot of us have been there. Some of you haven't. The great thing about Rocky Mountain Rep Festival, or RERF, is it's on the other side of the U.S. for the most part. It's given people a bigger chance on the West Coast to attend. Of course, we have the Midwest in Goshen, Indiana. We got the East Coast Rep Festival in Bel Air, Maryland. So it's nice to have them spaced a little bit. It gives everybody kind of a chance to get to one. I've been fortunate enough to be able to make it all three. Rocky Mountain, they've all got their different feels. Rocky Mountain was big. And for its first inaugural year was last year. It was a great event. There was, of course, a ton of sponsors, a ton of maker stables. This year, they are doubling that size. They were 18,000 square foot last year. This year, again, doubling to 36,000 feet. So it is going to be crazy. If you can make it, I highly recommend it. Travel ideas of them on the Rocky Mountain site, or the remurf.com. They've got some links to some discount hotels. I know those are booking up. So if there's any rooms left, and now's the time to grab them. Anybody flying in, I know Frontier, if you're not bringing a whole lot with you, staying a day or two, Frontier is, I think it's Frontier and Southwest Airlines is a hub in Denver. So you can get really cheap flights. Frontier, I'm in Ohio. Frontier, if I would have went that route, I've got extra baggage, so it was more costly that way. But if you're just doing a carry-on, I mean, my Ohio flight round trip was less than $100 if I would have went with Frontier. So it's, it's able to be obtained by a lot more people. Just look for those deals. Again, there's some links on their website to show you where to go, how far the event is. It is about an hour north of Denver Airport, but it's straight up the highway. It's a easy thing to navigate to. So there's going to be a ton of stuff there. Of course, Nick is going to be online eventually. I know everybody's been waiting for him, or they were surprised to see my face instead of Nick coming on here, but he's going to be getting on to announce kind of what we're doing at the Polymaker booth. So there's a handful of things. I'll let him get into it. There's going to be some fun stuff that you can bring your own stuff to. And there's going to be stuff supplied there. Some games. We always like to have the fun, interactive games. Get people to come and just enjoy it, learn some stuff while you're there. One thing, he'll get into more details, 3D printing basketball, the airless basketball, I should say. That has, I believe we've got it announced on TikTok. So if you don't follow Polymaker 3D on TikTok, go there, check that video out. Sean actually made a video kind of explaining what it is. We'll get into more details when Nick announces everything officially. So keep tuned in on that. But other than that, with the Rocky Mountain, it is on April 20th, April 21st. On the Saturday, it's open 9 to 6, Sunday 9 to 4. That is open to the public. The cost is very affordable. It is free. Bring yourself, bring a friend, bring a family, bring anything. Grab your neighbor if they never been to 3D printing, introduce them. There was actually a couple people that I met through there last year. They just heard through the newspaper of this event and showed up, and I think a couple people walked away with some printers donated to them just to get them started. So it's a great event. There's a lot of giveaways. If you're into free stuff, there's lots of chances for whether Voron printers, other printers. I can't speak for everything that's going on there, but I can guarantee you there's a lot. Justin and team that have been working behind the scenes on it. They put a lot of time and effort. I know they have a love for it. That showed last year with their event then. I can only imagine what it's going to be this year now with a little bit of experience under their belts and knowing what to look forward to. So again, 20th and 21st of April, so less than a month. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and let's see here, move on to the next one. This is the medical field news that I was talking about. This is a brain tissue that was 3D printed. Isn't anything that's going to replace a brain. It's basically, I think it was the University Wisconsin Madison. A group of scientists have found a way to 3D print brain tissue for the use of testing medical, test how diseases react with the different health tissues. So there's a lot of cool things. I kind of wanted to just touch on it. I didn't have a chance to get a ton of information on it. I could just kind of stumbled upon it. I thought it was just definitely neat to see where we're going with things. Like I said, not everything is plastic. Of course, we've seen kind of some food 3D printers. Haven't got a chance to eat something off one yet. So those are interesting, like the steaks. But of course, we have the chocolate 3D printers. The medical, of course, that's going to expand so many things between brain tissue. I'm sure they'll eventually get to skin grafting. So there's a lot of just things that everything that is branching into. And like I said, this one, if you go to the University of Wisconsin Madison page, you're going to see the article kind of in bold there of 3D printed brain tissue. Let's see here. And other than that, it's going to help. Like I know their main focus is on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, to kind of learn on how to possibly treat it, detect it early. So there's a lot of things there that I think is going to be really amazing, not just neat in the form of tech, but just awesome in the form of helping humanity. So that is it for the news. Let's go ahead and get right into our print showcase. So for our first print, obviously it is Pi Day. So we have to celebrate, of course, with a print that is Pi Day related. This is all shared in our show off in our Discord. These are all community members that share these. This is the March Magnets Day 6, and it is modeled and printed by Karen Chow Designs. You can find it on things.com. Free to download, free to print. This is actually a magnet. So for those of you that either have one of those magnetic marker boards, or you just like to fill your refrigerator with a ton of stuff, this is just a really cool print. I got the multicolor, so just a neat design. And like I said, what better way to bring in the Pi Day announcements or prints other than a Pi Day print. Excuse me. Next, we're going to go ahead and look at one from Pez Liz herself, the Pez Infinity Gridfinity dispenser holder for Pez. That's a mouthful. So as she states, just announce it as Pez Infinity and beyond. This is printed by Pez Liz. The model is actually a collaboration with Pez Liz and K2 Kevin. Of course, they are great friends. Kevin's got his experience with Gridfinity. He started to branch into a lot of the organizational drawers and Screwfinity and things like that. He helped her with this. She, of course, Pez Liz loves Pez. That's where her name come from. This is actually to display. So if anybody's ever had a Pez dispenser, whether it's full or not, and you try to set it up on its feet, those feet are small. It's top heavy. It doesn't sit up well. These actually latch in and lock in. So if you want to display your collector's editions or just different themed Pez's, this is it. It works with Gridfinity, or you can just put it on a shelf and display it. So this can be downloaded on things.com. So again, check her out. And she's also streaming every Wednesday with a in printing color, which is her Polymaker show. So definitely tune into that. Excuse me. But next is going to be the Easter egg I was talking about. Now this egg I think is super cool. I was always a fan of Tron growing up. Love the original. The new ones so-so, but just the effect that he got with the luminous here is really neat. Rather than just the normal spiral. We see a ton of eggs every Easter. There's a lot of neat ones, even if they are solid color, dual silks, gradients. I thought this was kind of a cool, different spin. The picture is amazing. I mean, it pops. It definitely gives the Tron vibes. But this is, the egg was created by Jacob Lottenberg, but printed by Marine Geek 23. So again, for Easter, there's a lot of them out there. This one is from Printables. I didn't have a chance to look into it. I don't know if he painted this or if it comes sliced that way. But at that point on an Easter egg, what do you do with Easter eggs? You dye them. Everyone's different. It's kind of your own creation. Do the same with what you print this year. If you print 3D printed eggs and you have a chance to multicolor, layer swap, paint it in Bamboo Studio, do it. Do that. Share it with family, friends, or just decorate your house with it. I know I at one point had a very large box of pastel rainbow Easter eggs, and they were strewn throughout the house. So it was pretty fun. So on to the next one. We're going to be looking at the Kitson Fox Bust. This is created by renowned modeler Fotis Mint. Has a huge library of just amazing, beautiful prints. So this one is printed by Jason F3D. Obviously multicolor. You can't beat that. I mean, it just prints in solid color can always be cool. The details, especially in this model, can be highlighted even better once you start adding those colors, get that different shading. So just an awesome print. This is going to be on things.com. All these things that you've seen today on the print showcase are going to be in our show off on Discord. So make sure to go there, check out the things you want to get inspiration from, or share your own, inspire others. That is it for our print showcase. We're going to go ahead and break here for brief commercials. We'll be right back.
Are you into cosplay and prop making? Are you tired of having to break out those power tools to sand those lines away? And don't forget about all that hand sanding. Cramps. Ouch. Introducing Polymaker's Cos PLA, available in 2 different versions, version A and version B. Both versions are still easier to stand than standard PLA. Find out more at us.polymaker.com.
This is Polymax PLA, the toughest PLA in the world, and today we're gonna put that to the test. I printed this very mechanical model and we're gonna drop it from the 12th floor. You heard me well, the 12th floor. Let's go! Ready for the first drop in 3, 2, 1. Whoa, that's crazy! Not even a scratch! Let's go and check it closer. Not even a single scratch. I dropped it again from the 12th floor and still not a single scratch. Buy your Polymax PLA right now.
Performance may vary depending on usage, individual factors, and external condition. Individual result may vary, not a guarantee of specific outcome. Consult your professional before use. See website for details and limitations. Use responsibly.
Have you had bad customer service with your filament provider? Have you ever gotten a bad spool and never got a response when you emailed the company? Well, that won't ever happen when you reach out to Polymaker. Some people say that no company cares about you. Wrong. 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 If you never got a response after emailing a company that you've worked with in the past, you may be entitled to better customer service. We at Polymaker pride ourselves on good customer service, and we won't ever keep you waiting for a response. Email us now at support@polymaker.com, and we'll get back to you within 1 business day. We'll fight for you.
And welcome back to Meet the Polymaker. Hope you guys had some laughs there, as always. Real quick, I want to mention on that, the commercials, we are going to have that channel live here tonight. I'll do it myself if I need to. But as I kind of discussed last week, is we are allowing the community to submit your own commercials. So we asked to be 30 to 45 seconds long. The details of everything and the rules will be submitted inside that in a pinned message. Make sure to read that. If you're submitting one, make sure to read those, follow those rules. We'll review them. We'll mark them. If anybody's ever done the TikTok game, it's going to be kind of similar on how we mark them, if it's either rejected or accepted. If it's rejected, we'll usually give you a reason why. Of course, no copyrighted music. And again, the details will be in there on the channel. But if we show your commercial on stream, you get to win $100 in filament. So get creative, get fun, have fun with it. Doesn't need to be high production. Just have fun. Showcase, Polymaker, any certain line of, just kind of take inspiration from the few that we've showed so far. We've got a couple more that are going to be coming out that we'll put out there. But again, start submitting those. We'll kind of, go through them, sift through them, filter them, let you guys know what you need to change. That way everybody kind of gets on track. So awesome opportunity to win some filament. Meant to mention that in the beginning. So other than that, I believe there was an issue with the giveaway. I'm waiting for feedback from James to see if we can get it reactivated. So anybody that did I Am Awesome earlier in the stream, please do so again. I'll let you know at the end. Hopefully the technical difficulties are worked out. It'll be available, but go ahead and make sure to I Am Awesome in the chat. Make sure there's spaces in there. And then if everything's working right, we'll do a giveaway at the end of the show. So with further ado, I said that twice now in this show. So we're going to go ahead, and then today we are going to meet a community member who is a very fun guy. He's humorous, he's helpful, he's smart, and to brighten your day with light boxes, let's go ahead and introduce our guest today, Pete/Shirtle3D. How's it going, Pete?
Going pretty good.
Looking pretty fly today. I think you're trying to one up me with the suit. I'm gonna need sunglasses for the next show.
Yes, you will.
Look at that production value, guys. We're going to be outdone in the second episode, and I'm going to be replaced by Pete. So, but again, welcome, Pete. Thank you for coming to today's show, giving us some of your time to kind of get to meet you and get to know you. So, obviously, we know Pete as if you're in the Discord, I guess I say obviously. Pete is our Lightbox ambassador. He knows more than light boxes. One of his main things is light boxes. We'll get more into that as we talk. I'll let him explain kind of some other projects he does. But he is helpful. He's been in the hangouts, sharing as he's modeling things. We've all been able to witness the power that is Pete, and how he can take a logo. Mine personally took it, I don't know exactly, let's say an hour, if that. It's probably less than, and created an entire light box out of it. I 3D printed it. It's in my workshop. You guys have probably seen it. But just awesome guy. So anyway, rather than hear me talk, Pete, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I like to make things easy. That's pretty much everything that I build in a nutshell. So whenever I seen somebody, I wasn't the original lightbox maker, but I did see one other guy that was making them before me, and he was making them with a lot of soldering and stuff involved. So I kind of thought to myself, it's not that hard of a model to make, and how can I make this easy for everyone else to make their own? Then I kind of went down that route. I love working in Fusion 360. I have Fusion 360 open on my computer probably 12, 16 hours a day. If I'm at my computer, Fusion 360 is open somewhere on one of my monitors. So it's a love.
One of
It
your
used to be
5
a
monitors,
love-hate
right?
relationship. Yeah. One of the few monitors in the
Yeah,
area.
he's got an entire command center, and I think one of the monitors is a giant touchscreen, right? Is that kind of a sketch pad?
Yep, I have a 24-inch Cintiq monitor. That's mainly because I was learning like ZBrush and organic modeling, which is it's a little bit harder than just learning software. You actually have to be an artist to use ZBrush, which watching Wexter do his magic in there, he can make and manipulate some clay in there in just a matter of minutes, which
Yeah.
some of the models, all these models on this side I've made, and all the organic looking ones I've done in ZBrush with the tablet. But most of them, as you can see, are more CAD style designs, and that's my main bread and butter is parametric modeling.
Yeah.
I love me some CAD stuff.
As they converting images into light boxes, badges, medallions, a little bit of everything. Now, did you find yourself with the light boxes? Were you printing light boxes that you found online and then kind of got into it like, hey, I want to make my own? Or was it something that
I actually
you just saw and you thought to create them?
I think I've only printed 1 or 2 light boxes that weren't my own. And those were actually printed after I started printing mine. I'm looking around because my wall is lined with light boxes that I've test printed. And I did subscribe to that first guy that I was talking about. I'll actually credit him. It's Gabriel Gomez. He's the Smart 3DP, I think is his socials. But he was doing it before I was, and then I kind of took, as we do in the 3D printing world, take inspiration and then try to manipulate it into your own form factor. And his most of his, whenever he does them, are fancier than mine, but I bring the ease to the process. So I make them easier and accessible for anybody rather than just making a super fancy project.
Oh yeah, no, and like I said, I've seen this guy create things with school logos, mascots, and just how quickly he manipulates it. And then not only just makes the light box, makes a custom stand for it, adds a little bit of flair to certain ones here and there, and it's just as simple as putting an LED strip in the inside of it, and then you got a heck of a creation. Now, is that light boxes? Was it something that you just thought were really cool, so you decided to create them, or did you see an opportunity for business?
I've seen him making light boxes, and then I made a few of my own. I think one of my first ones was a Corvette logo, and then it's up here on top of the shelf. Corvette logo, and then an Apex Legends logo. And man, they just came out super awesome, super awesome. And then about a month and a half into printing them, something went awry with some firmware updates, and then we started getting wisps in the prints for like 3 or 4 months, and we were fighting that battle, and now we're back on top of the world. We got the wisp taken care of, just printing light boxes like nobody's business. I just recently
sorry, go ahead.
I just recently got all of the Polylite, the full Polylite line of filaments. So I'm gonna have to get creative with the colors on the whole color lineup. Huge
color palette to run off of. And for those that don't know, like he's talking, the wisp is I actually had it on one of my initial ones that I printed. Is usually it's the darker colors, but it's just a little bit of filament, and all it takes is a little bit on that first layer on the bed, and then everything prints over top of it. And with you have a light shining through it, especially if it's a lighter color, you see just a black speck or a black smear, and it takes away from the whole thing, and it makes you focus on that imperfection. And so yeah, I'm sure that was a headache for him. And now, of course, being able to figure it out, it creates the nice, clean, amazing light boxes that he does create. Now with printing, was your start with printing light boxes, or what got you into 3D printing originally?
The reason why I bought my first 3D printer was actually because I wanted to make a themed gaming room, super nerded out in my previous house. And I loved Optic Gaming for, man, I've been supporting Optic Gaming for since 2012 or so, 2011, 2012, something like that. But anyways, they had their professional Call of Duty teams and whatnot, and I wanted to put all their logos on my wall with their rosters and whatnot. So I took a picture of my wall, photoshopped it how I wanted it to look. And I was like, how do I get this made? And then lo and behold, 3D printing is a thing. And this was before multicolor printing as well. So my first printer was an MK2, a Prusa MK2. This was not even an MK2S. And I bought it from a guy in downtown Houston, brought it home, couldn't get a good print on it for the first 2 weeks. I was about to toss it in the trash. And then somehow I started getting good prints. And then, oh man, it was on from there. I had 2 months. I actually had scheduled prints for the next 2 months on this printer. And I was scheduled which ones that I would print, but whenever I'd go to bed, as soon as I'd wake up before I'd go to work, I'd put my Nest camera on it. And then I had a little Wi-Fi outlet to where I could watch it whenever I was at work. And if I had a bird nest, I could just kill the power to the printer. Oh, it turned into a huge thing real quick. And then about a month or two after I had the first one, I wound up ordering a second one, the kit, and built it myself. And then it was 2 months later, I ordered a third one, built it. And then it was probably 6 or 8 months after I had the first three, they started making actually on my second and third one, I ordered the MMU1 kit for the MK2. And that's whenever because I started printing these Call of Duty gamers, they have all these logos, right? So I was printing them single color, and then I was having to hammer the different colors into the frames of the logos, and it was not a good time. So this multicolor option, the MMU1 came out, and I said, that's mine. And then so ever since the Prusa MMU1 came out, I've been multicolor printing. I want to say that's about 6 years ago or so. And then I started printing a bunch of logos. Yeah, that's whenever my multicolored whole dream became. And I started printing logos, sending them to the pro players, and then they would shout me out on Twitter, and it was a whole thing.
Now, did you have your the Etsy or your website set up for that? Ready to accept in those possible demands?
I absolutely did not. I did not anticipate on that happening. I just thought it was cool. I put all the stuff on my wall, took some pictures of it, uploaded it to Twitter. And then these guys have anywhere from 250,000 to 2 million followers, each of them. And then they started retweeting it, and then it just started blowing up. And then obviously I started getting a bunch of DMs on Twitter. Hey, can you do my logo? Can you do my logo? So I had 6 Prusa MK2s with MMU1 on them, and I had a whole little miniature farm of multicolor printers. And so
you had an MMU on each of them?
Yeah, I had. Well,
okay.
If there's one thing that I always love is consistency. So if you ever download any of my files, all of them are consistent with another. Even the little USB holes, they're all identical. The width of them's identical. I like consistency. So
once you figure out what works, it's easy to just model that into everything. So then hey, this is the tried and true method.
So after tinkering with the MMU1, because that thing did not work out of the box at all, it was a tinkering machine. And so once you get one of them reliable, then I started doing all the other 5 identical setup, and it was fun. Frustrating.
Do you still have those printers in your farm, or are they long gone?
Well, I have bamboos now, so I don't have much need for the bed slinger multicolor setup. So man, the bamboos are just reliable out of the box. So I mean, that's about the answer you get from probably 99% of bamboo users.
Yeah, I think it's a common theme. I imagine going forward until some more stuff comes out, I'm sure it'll be a common theme with the most guests that we talk to. Now, how many printers do you have in your farm completely currently?
So before I got the bamboos, I had 9 printers. I had 3 Enders, and I had I had, other than the MMU1 on the Prusas, I also had a Palette 2, and I have a Palette 3 still in the box, but I got that right whenever I was getting the bamboos, so I didn't need that anymore.
Yeah.
So, but the Palette 2, contrary to popular belief, the time it came out, it was a very, very good machine. In 2024, it's not so relevant unless you want to put it on a machine that absolutely could not take multicolor, but it is what it is.
That's actually my first endeavor into the multicolor was the Palette 2 S, I think, or Pro S, I think it is. And yeah, that was my only option. I mean, I started with some Enders, CR10, some Creality printers, and of course there was, other than layer swaps, there was no color option. Once I figured out how to work it and everything else, after a few mishaps and horrible bleed through and purging, it worked. I mean, it worked as well printed, final product. I would say, comparable to the Bamboo. Bamboo's probably got a little bit of edge on it, but the problem was that work involved to get it there, the tuning and everything else you had to do with the profile. So, but yeah, they were, like you said, when it came out, there was nothing that really touched it. The MMU was out, but it was still buggy. The palette had its own issues, but obviously they were successful enough to go from 4 color to 8 color on the 3 Pro or 3S. Yeah. So
okay. So back to your question about what I'm running now. Now, since I have Bamboo, I bought one initially as soon as they were available for pre-order on their site. I ordered one, pre-ordered it.
I'll start.
I got it in, I think it was like August, whenever they were released. So it was like a year and a half ago. And then I got the one, see if it works as advertised, because you don't just put all your eggs in that basket with 3D printing, because you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
So I bought one. It worked as advertised. Watched it print 4 times faster than my other printers, and I'm like, getting another one. And then I got a third one. So I have 3 of them, which replaced all 9 of my previous printers. But I will say, I got a little AMS happy on my first printer. It said, you can do 16 colors. Well, I'm doing 16 colors. That way I could have 16 filaments in there at all times. That way, as soon as I hit slice, I didn't have to even, I was trying to get super lazy with it. That way I could just slice a color
loaded.
Yeah. Yep. So I will say, you don't need more than 2 AMS. 2 AMS is perfect. If you're ever wondering, oh, I need more AMS, 2 AMS, the modeling, the model designers haven't really, I wouldn't say that they've caught up to the multicolor task yet. So there's not a ton of multicolor models that you can do that will have over 8 filament colors. I've only done 2 of them that were 9 colors, and one of them was an Ace Ventura mini dude by Wexter, and there was another one that I had 9 colors. It was a drummer dude by Mini Wexter, but I had to force 9 color. I was just trying to add more colors to it.
At that point, you're just kind of changing the color of each little triangle.
Yeah, I had like 3 different shades of gold, copper, and tan, which didn't even need to be. There's not that many models that are more than 8 colors. So I would say 2 AMS is all you need for each machine.
And I've heard that kind of across the board is people that have had it is you have 4 on one. How often do you actually use that 3rd and 4th? And really, too, is the second one. Right? Like I said, it's that I think is the max ideally. Just because, as you said, modelers, they're getting to the multicolor, but most of them, they figure most of the people that are going to download their model is going to be 4 colors. So, they usually stop at 4 unless there's a need for the more colors. So, yeah, I think I take your advice there. And anybody, looking to get into it, watch Getting the Bug, because once you get a Bamboo, you'll get another Bamboo.
Yeah, it's insane.
And then you'll load it up. So
there are also people that say, I don't need multicolor. But once you get multicolor in your life, it is hard to go back.
Well, as you were saying too, is how you did was your idea was not just doing a multicolor print, but having all those filaments in the ready. Especially now with Bamboo Handy, the app, is you can print while you're away. With you, if you got 16 colors loaded, it's a lot easier to, okay, hey, I want to print this in this color, this color, this color, and you can just do it from the app. But other than that, the refills, if you're doing mass production and you're afraid of filament run out, it's a good thing to continue that filament usage. But yeah, so that's great product, has awesome use, but can definitely get you in debt really quick.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see almost all of my models up here are multicolor models. It's other than my industrial equipment, everything else is basically multicolor models. I can't get away from it. As soon as you get the multicolor bug, it's in you.
And it's so easy to do too. I mean, between the Bamboo Studio app and just the process of just loading it and then letting it go. I mean, it's an easy thing to get wrapped up in. Which now talking about colors too, and multicolors. You know, you said to have the whole Polylight PLA lineup. When was your first? When did you first use Polymaker?
I actually, it's a funny story. I ordered my very first Polymaker spool. It was I want to say an ASA spool because I've never printed ASA before, but I have a ton of ABS because I bought like one of each color like 5 or 6 years ago, just because people were asking me to print stuff that was going to go outdoors. And then now everybody says, oh, ASA because it doesn't smell or anything. So I ordered an ASA spool, and the cardboard spool, my very first one, it came bent, and I said, oh no. So I had to print a respooler, and which, I mean, that's not a lot of work. It only took me like 5 minutes to respool it, but I kind of held off on Polymaker for a few months because I was like, I don't want to have to do this to every spool. And then finally, somebody had a discount code for some Polymaker, and I bought like 8 spools. And lo and behold, that was my very first spool was the only one that I got that came bent. So then after I bought those 8 more spools, I just kept it coming. And I haven't really had any bad luck since. It was just that very first spool that was bent, and I was like, ah.
And just for everybody that's watching, you know, of course, a lot of you probably use Polymaker, you know, and Pete being a new user wasn't aware, is make sure anybody that you know that's getting Polymaker and they have a problem with it, hit up support at Polymaker, go on the website, you can chat there. I can guarantee you they will take care of you if you have any problems. So, but that's awesome that you gave them a chance. You were able to kind of salvage it, and then now look at you getting, you know, collections and collections of filaments. So that's pretty awesome. Now, what's your go-to filament type? I know you do the light boxes, and I know you said sometimes you do stuff that's like, outside. Is
probably 99% of everything I print is PLA. The only time I don't print PLA is if it's needed for a specific use case.
Okay. Yeah, but that's probably not a bad idea. So now that you're into all the colors, is you can kind of match those logos and everything with something better. So
and then the main reason why I try to stay consistent with the same type of filament is because I have so many multicolor printers. I don't want to buy, because if you buy a PLA, PETG, ASA, that's 3 different spools you got to buy right there if you want one of each color. Yeah. So I try to stick with the same grade of plastic.
No, especially too, some of them, of course, Polymaker does pretty good across the types of keeping the colors pretty consistent. But still, like you said, even then, you know, having those multicolors, it's better to have, number one, the series that has the most colors, or some of the most colors. And like you said, with your use case, LEDs generate little heat, so you don't have to worry about any warping or anything. Now with that too, with the light boxes, how long, I know, so Pete does have a website. I'll shout it out now. I'll let him plug himself a little bit later. Shirtle, is it shirtle3d.com or shirtle-3d?
Shirtle.com.
Oh, just shirtle.com. Look at that. I come well prepared. I'm a pro at this, guys. But shirtle.com, you can see him. Pete has shared a lot of stuff. I mean, like he said, he likes to make things easy. He shot himself in the foot, and I don't think he regrets it because he enjoys helping people out, is making a video of how to easily create light boxes. It hit YouTube. So we've talked about, had a couple conversations about that, but that's the thing. That's how Pete is. You know, he doesn't mind helping it. But he's been running a business now. How long have you been officially a business selling your light boxes, or even the models?
I haven't sold that many light boxes. The main reason is because, remember I was saying about the firmware updates we constantly get firmware updates on Bamboo, and everybody knows that they're notorious for switching a few things up and not letting you know. So that began the whole Wisp issue. And that was whenever I first started putting light boxes on Etsy. And then of course I get about 6 orders for it. And one of them was for just a white and black LOL box. And I had to print 12 of them to get 4 clean ones. So I was not very productive on that order. So I stopped selling them for a little while, and then started making more digital sales. And so now I don't sell as many physical prints on my Etsy store as I do digital stuff from my website. what I've been trying to work on lately is make models that people can sell on my website. Because I mean, the go-to for most light boxes are football teams, basketball teams, soccer teams, stuff like that. But people also want to be able to sell them. So I'm trying to make some more original artwork that I have licensing for from different websites or whatever. I'm not an artist, so I do get commercial rights for some graphics, and that way I can make new models with those, and then people can sell them legitimately without having to go under the radar with some Facebook sales or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that probably helps your overhead too. You don't have to worry about, you of course have a stock of filament, but you don't have to worry about that, of making sure I have the right colors, making sure the color matches for them. That way they kind of have that creative freedom. You give them the file. All his files too, by the way, guys, if you ever purchase one through him, paintable. Usually I think you actually do, when you officially purchase through your site, do you sell them as just a paintable model, or do you sell it as a paintable model and a painted model, like the 3MF?
If you purchase from me, all you got to do is hit slice and print. I make the Bamboo Studio file and everything. It's all good to go. It's a full turnkey order. As soon as you give me a picture, I can turn that picture into a light box, give you the Bamboo Studio project files. All you got to do is open it, slice it, load up your AMS, and hit print.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. Like I said, my logo had, I think, what was it, 9 colors, and I was able to change because I decided to run 2 and just do 8 colors. But yeah, I mean, that thing came sliced. All the colors were there. It was my logo with all the colors, and like I said, you can easily change it about, paint it differently. But I mean, I was amazed at how quickly. And then, now, mind you, I'm not touting that he's a 1-hour turnaround print. So just for a heads up, anybody that goes to his website. But the man's a machine. I mean, he pops them out. Like I said, I was able to print mine out. He gives links. Of course, if you guys ever have any questions, he is, again, the Lightbox ambassador. We do have the Lightbox channel in our Discord. Ask your questions there. He links in there the LED strips that he uses. You can use any. His were easy. They have good color to it, good brightness. Like I said, I think it was a 2-pack or 3-pack, I think they sell them in.
Yep. Yeah. On my website, it has all my affiliate links, but on the one on the Discord, it's not an affiliate link, and it is pinned to the top of the custom Lightbox channel in the Polymaker Discord.
Yep, and they're very affordable. So I have a voice in my ear. Give me just 1 second. What was that, James? Why did you? Oh, you doubled that up. Okay, so Nick, back in the background, somewhere, maybe behind those buildings, maybe up top one of those skyscrapers, has a question. Why did you accept to be a Polymaker ambassador offer? I think I asked that right. It was kind of spelled out different.
Well, I like to, I mean, that's kind of how I got my light boxes started. I like to be ahead of the curve if I can be. If I can see something if I can see a wave coming, it's like, well, I'm going to try to catch this wave. And so y'all had reached out to me. Oh, you make light boxes. Do you want to be the ambassador? Well, obviously Polymaker being the king of the community as far as filament goes, filament lines. And why wouldn't I say no to, or why wouldn't I say yes to a 20-30 minute session? Well, I guess an hour long with a 30-minute hour or 30-minute questions and whatnot afterwards. But I mean, it's an hour of production time, and then I just got a little setup time. I have a little OneNote for what ideas I can go over each week. But why did I accept it? I mean, I can see it going places. So I would love to catch this wave of Polymaker ambassadors and being in the forefront of it before it really catches on, and I can be one of the originals per se. I like being at the beginning of new things. And then
that's we had our partnership program, and now we have our first partners of the originals. So who's to say where in a couple years we transition, and you got your application ambassadors, and then you got your first application ambassador. So yeah, I mean, you're definitely in there in the beginning to help us kind of move forward with things. Now real quick, I know I don't have the schedule pulled up, and I'm trying not to look off too much, but when are your if people are interested in learning what you're showcasing, he's teaching and he's actually recording this, guy. So when he does them, he eventually puts them up on his YouTube. We'll plug that at the end here. But he has his application stage as an application ambassador. They get time to present 1 hour presentation, once a week. Some do it multiple weeks a month. But again, you can go in there. He'll do screen share, show how he's doing things, kind of walk you through the steps. Again, he makes it easy. And he's easy to talk to, easy to understand. So it's easy to follow along with that. So I'll let him plug. When are your application stages typically for those that are interested in coming to the Discord and watching?
And Polymaker Discord, that's the only place that I do those. But Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. So 6 p.m. CST every Tuesday is whenever I'm doing the live sessions. I do record them. I think every single ambassador in the Polymaker Discord forgot to record their first one. Also me. So I have episode 2 and forward. I think it's up to 5 now. I have 2, 3, 4, and 5 uploaded to YouTube. I try to get them up there as soon as possible. Sometimes it takes me 3, 4, 5 days, but they are on YouTube. You can just search Shirtle 3D on YouTube and you'll find them. But it's called Bright in the Evening. Why not?
Rise. Yeah, makes sense.
So Bright in the Evening, it's on my... If you don't catch it live, I do have them on my YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
They're about 20, 30 minutes long.
There you go. Yeah, and very informative. Like I said, easy to follow. Kind of takes you step by step through each one. So I think even missing that first one, you can probably do a little bit of catch up. And who knows, we might rehash some stuff as we continue. But kind of going back to our earlier conversation about the printers, Nick was interested. Do you still have, I know, of course, you replaced your other printers with the bamboos. Do you still have your old printers? If you do, what do you plan on doing with them? Or if you don't, what did you do with them?
Well, this will be a interesting topic. So as soon as I got my first bamboo and it worked as advertised, along with a lot of people, my other bed slingers started collecting dust. So I had to do something with them to make room for more bamboos. So one of my friends in the FPV world, the flying drones, he's seen how clean my TPU prints were from my Prusa print profiles. So he was interested in buying one of my printers. So rather than just trying to go the route of selling one by one, I told him I'd give him all of them basically for the price of one. And
wow.
Gave him a steal. I gave him all 6 Prusa MMU ones for like $600 just basically to get them out of the way so I could get more bamboos in.
Did you throw your enders in there with them too, or did you keep those?
Yeah, I pretty much just gave him the enders for free, and then all my extra parts for all the bed slinger stuff.
So you made that guy's day for sure. I mean, he got a heck of a deal.
Yeah, he could have turned around and sold them. I don't know. I just needed to get them out of my house so I could make room for new more tech. Bamboos. Yeah,
there you go. Well, I think we're getting quite close on time. So I do want to thank you again. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but try to keep it, not too long. But of course, appreciate you coming through. You've been an awesome community member, a great hangout guy to listen to. This guy not only does the light boxes, he also is pro soundboard guy. He has about 1.5 million sound effects. So if you want it to be entertained, and you, as expected, entertained. He is in our hangouts often. You guys are welcome, whether it's him or anybody else. Come to those hangouts. Come chill with us. Talk 3D printing. You have questions. You got problems with the printer. We're there to help also. But Pete, real quick, I want to give you a chance to plug. Where can people find your projects? Obviously, we got the Discord, the Lightbox channel, but outside of that, the Discord, where can people find you, get information about what you're doing, or possibly purchase one of your models?
All of my social medias are Shirtle 3D, and the website is shirtle.com. Simple as that. So you can just type in Google SHURDLE, and I'll be there. Awesome. Social medias and website.
Cool.
I made that name because I Googled it one day after misreading a bumper sticker, and I could not find anything on Google about that. So that's why I made that the name.
So that was the mistakenly typed in Google search? Was it like a funny bumper sticker?
I misread a bumper sticker that actually said something hurdle, and I read it as shirtle, and I said, what is a shirtle? And then it wasn't obviously on the bumper sticker shirtle. And so I got home and Google searched it, and that's what I made the name of my business.
And here you are now, Shirtle 3D. So again, guys, make sure to thank Pete and chat for stopping in. Anything light boxes, come to the Discord, check it out, or shirtle.com. So again, thank you, Pete. Always a pleasure talking with you. You have a nice night.
Appreciate it. We'll see you.
Yep. Okay, so that is our show for the day. We'll kind of run down a few things here. This will kind of get a little bit smoother as we go. But obviously we talked about some 3D printers, some 3D prints, some medical field stuff. I mean, it's some cool things. Don't forget to go follow Creatrix Brit. Also follow Shirtle or Pete. One thing I did forget to have him mention, he does have a Facebook. It might be linked in his channel for the light boxes. That Facebook is a multicolor Facebook. People share their prints, their ideas, things there. It is a large community. I've joined it within probably the last month or two. Everybody's friendly. So it's an easy place to kind of ask questions or get some inspiration for some things. So we'll link that. If Pete, if you're able to be in the Twitch chat or message James what that Facebook link is, if you'd like to share it, you're more than welcome to. We'll share it in the chat. Other than that, obviously there's Pete to follow. We have Pez Liz, who is one of our partners, where she does her end printing colors every Wednesday. That alternates on time to kind of get the European and the US base. So make sure to follow her for that schedule update as it goes along. Also, like I said, Creatrix Brit, she's got some projects in the makes right now. I'll let her talk about it, and Nick announced some things, that some really fun, cool things involving that. But other than that, we can't forget, obviously, Polymaker 3D. We are on Twitch, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, we are on all of them. If you don't follow us and you love us, come follow us. Smash a like button, all that good stuff that the pros say. We also do not forget the Polymaker figurines. He is still just pumping them out. It's every 2 days he's putting a model out. It's still insane. I get the every 2 days I get the notification, hey, there's a new TikTok, there's a new Instagram, and to see the things that he's creating in the multicolor and having them available as they're released is really awesome. So that's Polymaker figurines, again, across the socials. Also cannot forget our discord.polymaker.com. If you're not a member already, we have our hangouts. They are 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's 9 p.m. Eastern time. Anybody is welcome. It doesn't matter if you're a first printer. It doesn't matter if you don't have a printer. You have a question, we have people come in there for problems, questions, and just to chat. Again, Pete is one of the many faces that are in that chat often, and just a pleasure to talk to. A funny guy. I mean, I think I can't think of a night that we've had Pete in a chat where there hasn't been a laugh of some sort created by him or many of the other members. Plenty of great people. So make sure to join us there. But for the night, that is Meet the Polymaker. Again, make sure to tune in every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to this Twitch or to this YouTube channel, wherever you're watching. Real quick, I want to say, James, if you're there, before we go, is the giveaway live, or were we able to fix that? Hey, there we go. So real quick, because I kind of extended this a little bit longer. Well, I'm kind of on time, actually. If you have not, make sure to type "I am awesome" as you see on the screen in chat. That is going to give you a chance to win a free spool of filament from none other than Polymaker, despite what my shirt says. We like all companies, but Polymaker is going to be the one giving away their filament today. So we'll let that go for a little bit. I probably should have mentioned that before I went over everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Getting a little more comfortable with it, a little bit more structured as we go. I hope my mic is better this time, which I'm reading chat. Mike, has it been good this time? I know last time after rewatching, it was not the best. And I hope I got the right source this time. So a lot of people typing "I am awesome." Oh, and a raid from Free Heathen. I just noticed that. Thank you, Free Heathen. Welcome in, everybody. Kind of the end of our show, but you can tune in every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. And of course, if those that are in here, if you haven't followed Free Heathen, he makes miniatures. I don't know if he still uses Tinkercad. He used mainly Tinkercad as of last year for East Coast Rep Festival. I had the pleasure of working with him to print some models for our display. And again, I say miniatures. They were